All right, we'll take that weather right there. Not too bad. Now, selling a home, it can often feel overwhelming, from repairs and showings to waiting on the right buyer. But what if there were a faster, more certain way to get the closing table? Joining us today, we have St. Louis entrepreneur and Army Ranger veteran who's changing the way homeowners sell their property, CEO of iBuySTL, Jimmy.
How's it going?
Thanks for being here today.
You're welcome.
Well, we were all very excited, Jimmy. I mean, you're a popular face on TV. You're telling people what's going on. iBuySTL. Let's go through a little bit about what you offer.
Sure.
Because you were telling me it's a lot of myths and misconceptions when it comes to selling a house.
Yeah, the traditional way to sell for some people is a great way to sell, but for a lot of people, they just want ease, speed, and convenience.
Yeah.
And I think some of the misconception is like your neighbor, whatever he says he or she sold their house for, that's not the amount of money they actually put in their pocket. So what you see on Zillow or the MLS, it doesn't include commissions, it doesn't include seller concessions, closing, and it doesn't really say whatever discount you got to the end buyer.
Yeah.
So, just what your neighbor says. And so I've done the math over and over again, but what people list their house for or say what they got their house for, they
Right.
could only be getting 80% of that cash. And the funny thing is, our offers are generally very close to that.
Yeah.
And they don't have to deal with the inconvenience of showings, the inconvenience of people coming through their house, repairs,
Yeah.
all that type of stuff.
Well, that is a huge money saver. And what I love about this is you mentioned that, it's not too good to be true. The process that you do, it's fair and it's smooth.
And it's easy.
And it's easy. Yes.
And it's simple. So you mentioned I was a veteran. The values I learned in the Army: integrity, honesty, service. I wanted to create a company that did the same exact thing. So our process is simple. You put your address in, a team member of mine calls you. If you guys want somebody to come out to your house, we'll come out to your house. We'll give you a fair, honest offer and an offer we're going to stand by. So no lowball offers, no games at the end, just easy, simple, and transparent as possible.
And does it matter when it comes to what types of houses? Do you buy any house?
I bought a house, for whatever reason, we've been seeing in the news, houses exploding because of gas lines and everything.
Yes.
I bought 2 of those houses last month. I bought a house last week that had been occupied by raccoons for probably 6 months.
Wow.
And then it doesn't matter. And then I also bought a house that really the seller just wanted cash. She could have gone to market, but she had a couple family issues, so she wanted her deal done within 5 days.
Yeah.
We bought it, and we're gonna clean it up a little bit, and then we're gonna put it right back on the market.
Okay, and I want to emphasize that when you're buying these, you're keeping them in the community.
Yeah.
Which is a really big part of what you do.
Yeah, I think something I'm very passionate about is we all know there's an affordable housing and first-time home buyer shortage in the St. Louis area, and probably $20,000 to $50,000 homes, and so that is what we specialize in.
Yeah.
These are houses that banks will not lend on, and these are people you got to be a little crazy to want to get into. And good news, we love doing that.
Yeah.
But we're putting those houses back on the market for a great family, and it becomes a tax-paying house again, a safe house again, and a great place for somebody to raise a family.
Beautiful, and that's what you're all about, and I think that really does go back to those values that you mentioned. So thank you so much, Jimmy, for joining us today. You guys, it doesn't get any easier than this. iBuySTL, keeping investments in St. Louis, certainty, speed, and convenience. You can learn more by visiting their website or checking them out on socials as well.